Hey guys, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, it's me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is Wednesday, March 10th, 2021, and today would have been my grandmother's 100th birthday, I believe. She was like 92 or 93 when she passed away, so she would have been 100 or 101 today. Kind of a bittersweet day because I am unapologetically a grandma's boy. And I don't give a damn who knows it. So yeah, I was that kid in junior high, high school, holding hands with his grandma, giving grandma kisses, like totally freaking out, Buddy the Elf style whenever my grandma came to school or whatever. Don't give a damn. She was my rock and my foundation. So, happy birthday, Grandma. And in 2 more days, on the 12th, is my grandpa's birthday. Well, would have been my grandpa's birthday. He's been gone now since 1995, 96. So, quite a while now that I've been without my grandparents. But, anyways, oh man, there has just been a lot of stuff going on this week. A lot of forward movement. A lot of really weird dreams also. So, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the previous video or not, but I have taken steps to see about getting re-enrolled into college. And talked to a really nice lady at the college the other day, and spent about 45 minutes on the phone with her. And it looks like most, if not all, of my classes are going to transfer over, with the exception of some of my electives. With the AA program at this school that I'm looking into going to, you're only allowed like 15 electives, and I think some of the courses that I took that were considered associate degree material for my old school is considered electives here in Washington State. So I gotta get a hold of somebody to see about financial aid and to see what all is required of me from that standpoint. So there's good news in that aspect. I started taking an online class with this website called Allison, and it's on managing stress and anxiety in your personal and work life, and that's been kind of interesting and like informative so far. Ran into a little bit of a snafu like on a technical side of it with the website, and I'm really kind of pissed off at the tech support or customer service. Last night I sent a message to them and I'm like, hey, you said that this was going to be back up and running because one of the modules, the video says that it can't be displayed for whatever reason. And the person sent back, I told you that you needed to wait 24 hours for this to get fixed or whatever, and all this other stuff. I'm like, I contacted you yesterday, and from yesterday when I contacted you to today when I contacted you has been over 24 hours. So, you need to lose the attitude. Like, straight up. You don't treat people like shit, especially if they are doing business with you. But I didn't get to do any of my classwork yesterday, which is kind of okay because yesterday was my grocery shopping day for the month, and I was gone from like 9 o'clock in the morning till almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And God, I don't know what gas is like where you guys live, but right now, as of yesterday, it was $3.37 a gallon. And just a week or so ago, it was only two something. Like, it was $2.56 or something like that. So I don't know how the hell I'm going to continue being able to drive if gas is going to be that ridiculously stupid. But, it's what happens whenever we're supposed to be going into a war, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And it could also just be part of that whole AOC wanting to do away with fossil fuel cars. So you can still have your fossil fuel car, you're just going to pay out the nose to be able to operate the vehicle. And if that's the case, then I really don't know how the hell I'm going to be able to drive, because there's no way in hell I can afford to go get an electric car. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not very well versed on the subject to even talk any more about it. And I'm not going to be one of those talking heads on YouTube just spouting ignorance and whatever. So, yeah, a lot of really good, positive things moving forward. And I know I don't usually talk about the dreams that I have or whatever, and this time I feel like I should. I don't need to, I just feel like I should. So, some of you may or may not know that part of my mental health stems from around the time that I was put into the hospital for diabetic ketoacidosis. Leading up to my hospitalization, I was in a really bad, kind of abusive situation. I was living with a family member. Well, I'll just come out and say it. I'm not going to mince words. I was living with my sister at the time, and her boyfriend really didn't like me and was very machismo, which means like very macho and like egocentric, and he's got to be like the king of the castle and all this other shit. And well, he wasn't even the king of White Castle, but still, I just got so beat down by his constant abuse and negativity that I basically was locked in a room for 18 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because anytime that I would come out of my room, he would start yelling, screaming, bitching, and causing a fight with her or whatever. Well, actually, it wasn't even with her. It was just, he would start yelling, bitching, screaming in general. And so I locked myself away in my room. And for almost a year and a half, I lived in a room that was 12 by 18. And I couldn't eat all day long, because every time I came out of the room to get a glass of water or to eat or whatever, and he'd start in. So I'd just keep myself locked up in my room. And he cut the phone line to my bedroom, so I couldn't even have internet access. So I just laid in there and slept most of the time, or watched. I don't think I even watched TV, because I don't think I had a television in my room at the time. But yeah, so I just sat in this dark, extremely unnecessarily hot bedroom for 12 to 18 hours a day, usually closer to 18. The only time that I got to come out of my room is when he left or took a shower. And when he was in taking a shower, I would get up, run to the bathroom. I hate to even say this, but I was peeing into big water jugs and stuff like that. So I'd run into the other bathroom, I'd dump all those out, I'd get some food, like whatever I could find in the kitchen, and then I would get some water, and then I'd hightail it back into my bedroom and lock myself up like I had never even been out. And the only time I would come out of my room is when my sister was home. And so anyways, this went on for a long time until I went into the hospital and had to come, and I came back home and then made the decision after I heard her talking to him about them getting back together. So there's that story. So The dream that I had was that I was in this house that I've been living in for a long time, and that there was a room that was completely forgotten. Like, it was closed off, and the only reason I found it is because I was rearranging something on a shelf, and I accidentally pushed something through the wall, and I could see through this shelf into this other room. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that room. And I went around the corner, and it was like down this hallway, and there was stuff piled up along the door, and you couldn't even really see the door. And it was just kind of like that whole out of sight, out of mind thing. I'm like, okay. So I open the door, and as soon as I do, like, I smelt this horrible smell, and I'm like, what is that? And I look down on the floor, and there is this cat that is atrophied. It's still alive, but just barely. And it's got, like, you can see all of its little bones, and it's got sores all over it. And the room's kind of empty, but messy all at the same time. Like, there was no real furniture in there to, like no bookshelves or anything, but there was like papers all over the floor and stuff, and this cat laying in the middle of the floor by the door. And I just remember, like, oh my god, Kitty, how, oh, I'm so sorry, Kitty, why are you in here? And just remember, like, feeling this anguish that the cat was suffering like that. And, like, in my mind, in the dream, I had thought that the cat had ran away or something like that, or I didn't know what had happened to the cat. And so I have this urgency, like, I need to fix this cat. I need to get it food. I need to get it water. I need to nourish this cat. And as I'm trying to work with it, like, all these distractions all around me started happening, and, like, all I wanted to do was focus on working on this cat, this poor cat. Like, I can't believe it's still alive. I have no idea how many months or years it had been locked away, what it was doing, but I just wanted to help it. And all these distractions kept coming. I'm like, I can't deal with you right now. I've got to focus on this cat. And somehow the cat goes running out the front door with what little strength it had, and went to go climb up over a fence. And I walked around I walked around that fence, and it got from me to like 300 or 400 feet up away from me. And I was just like so panicked that this cat was going to run away and die. And I'm like, no, kitty, come here. And I finally got it to stop, and it like kind of cowered and looked up at me, and that's when I woke up. And I woke up, and I had this like relief feeling that, like, I was able to catch the cat, and that I was able to try to work with it. But at the same time, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, I had this depression and this longing, like, what was that all about? And it was kind of like a moment of clarity. Like, my spirit, or that inner voice, whatever you want to call it, came through and was just like, Michael, that cat was you. That was your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations, and that was you being locked away in the bedroom dying. Because I wasn't diagnosed with DKA right away. I was sick for almost a year and a half prior to going into the hospital. I knew I was getting worse because every time I would drink water, I would instantly throw it up, and this bright pink bile would come along with it. The only time that I felt human was when I drank a 2-liter thing of Sprite, or if I drank a lot of orange juice or something like that. And I remember doing some research about, like, how diabetes was diagnosed in the early days, and it was by smell, by taste, and by like texture, consistency. And in the bathroom that I had to use, there was always ants around the toilet. And whenever I would go to the restroom, it always had this strong acetone smell. And so one night or one day when I was going to the restroom, I peed on my hand so that I could feel it, and it was really, really sticky and not watery at all. It was like really viscous. And that same voice came into the back of my head. Michael, you're dying. You're dying. You've got to do something. You're dying. And I just washed my hands and cleaned myself all up and everything, cleaned the toilet down and got rid of the ants. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. I'm dying. I was at that point, where I was just passively suicidal. And yeah, it wasn't until about a month or two after that I finally just could not go any further. And I kept telling my sister, because at the time I was working with her at a daycare center, and I was working as a cook, and I was just telling her, God, I feel like shit. I had this really horrible metallic rotting meat taste in my mouth. I had this really bad cough and just felt weak and dizzy all the time. And I just kept telling her, I don't feel good, Tanya. I don't feel good. And she was just really kind of bitchy, and she's like, well, if you feel like that, then you should probably go to the hospital. And we were out doing grocery shopping and on our way back to the house, and I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. Take me to the hospital. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. I really believe I need to go to the hospital. So she takes me to the hospital, and I go walking into the ER, and within seconds of me walking in there, they have me in the back room in triage, hooked up to all these different machines or whatever. So yeah, that's how I got diagnosed with being diabetic and on ketoacidosis. So yeah, so it's really kind of strange that I'm making all these steps forward in trying to do something different in my life and having those dreams, and then this floodgate opening up and all these emotions and these things coming back to me. And it's like, okay. And even if I don't do anything with the peer counseling that I'm pursuing, or if I don't do anything with my associate's degree, if and when I can complete it, I at least want to be able to say that I graduated college. I don't want to be just forever a college dropout, because my sister graduated college, my niece has graduated college. I want to graduate college too, just so that I can look back and say, I might not have done it when I was supposed to, but at least I did it. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that I am able to do this. And so yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, right? Is just hope, pray, and take short, small baby steps forward. Part of the class that I'm learning right now is setting realistic goals for yourself. And as I'm taking this course and other courses similar to it, it's been helping me with my mental health. Because I'm not currently in counseling right now, and I know that's kind of weird, a counselor being in counseling, but I guess it's more normal than anything or what have you. But it's helping me to self-diagnose and to dissect and pull things apart, so then that way I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And then with looking at what I just wrote on the paper, I do this, and this, and I have done this and this in the past, and this has worked, but this and this hasn't worked. And when I've gone back to try these other things that did work, they no longer work. And like, so it's therapeutic for me, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not a straight A student. I never have been. I was in special needs class, or special ed, whatever the hell you want to call it, until I was in the 10th grade, when I finally tested out because I was proven a point to a teacher, and I didn't realize that I could actually test out of the system. But I used those special ed classes as a way to escape from my bullies, because I got bullied by the teachers and I got bullied by people in the class. And when I could escape away from the class and go into this specialized learning environment, I could get through with whatever work I was doing really quickly. And then they had a computer lab in there, and at the time I was like really geeky nerdy about computers, and so that was kind of like my motivation to get my work done, was to get that done and then have computer time. And so I'm working through a lot of stuff right now, guys, and trying not to get down too much on myself about like the things that I'm not able to change, or the things I'm not able to take care of right this moment. I've really cut back on my walking, and I hate myself for that. Like, I'll be honest, I'll be upfront and honest that I hate the fact that I've cut back on the walking, but I lost all my progress that I was making due to severe weather changes and the fact that I had the kidney stone and all that other stuff. I can seriously tell the difference. Like, just in my face, it's full again. My lower back hurts all the time. I'm having sciatic issues, not like pain, but my left leg is like constantly falling asleep. I'm horribly out of alignment and need a chiropractic adjustment like nobody's freaking business. So yeah, there's all these things that I'm trying to get back to. Today is the first day in a long time that it's been nice and sunny out, even though it's like 30 degrees outside. I'm still gonna try to go for a walk. Oh, excuse me. And I started taking 5-HTP again. So hopefully this is going to give me that mental boost and clarity that I've needed and wanted. I did a video about talking about how I kind of OD'd on 5-HTP, and that's because I started off doing the 50 milligram, and then I bumped myself up to 200 milligrams, not really thinking too much about it, and 200 milligrams was way too strong for me. And I went several weeks or months without being able to find it, and finally I found it online, and it was significantly more expensive than what I normally pay for it. But I'm hoping to be able to continue to find it from the online supplier for the same price and have the money to be able to pick it up, because it's an over-the-counter supplement. My insurances don't pay for it or whatever else. So, and this big bottle here was $15 or $20, but it's 180 days worth of capsules. So I'm super excited to see how this works, because before, my depression was really manageable, but when I got off of it, God, I was so emo. But anyways, I've rambled on now for almost 25 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. That's not what I intended to do, but I do these shows completely unscripted, just from the seat of my pants. So I wake up in the morning, I come out here, I take my medication, brush my hair, and then I flip these on and do my video for the day. And then after I'm done, I go on about my daily business. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. If you have a video suggestion, I would love to hear from you about it. Feel free to send me an email, hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com, or you can just leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can with that. And you can follow me on all the different social medias. You'll find all those links in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a blessed day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.